Hey guys, this is Josh Law. I'm from strengthmod.com, and I just wanted to comment on a few things that we're kicking off here in the One Shot group. I read this post by Austin Anderson, and it was initially about who wants to make some maps collaboratively. And he's using Inkscape, and he gave out a password so people could collaborate on those sorts of things. But really, what got me excited was Andrew Knapp in the comments saying, "I'll match you a map making collaboratively and raise you a shared world setting for the OSG." That got me super, super excited. I thought that was a great idea to have kind of an open source and crowdsourced thing that we could all kind of be involved with, because even just being a part of this group for such a small amount of time, I can see how creative these people are and just willing to kind of, be creative in a group setting like this. I think it's really awesome. Another person, Mick Smith, made another comment. "With the internet at this level, we can get really deep into the world building and stay accurate with canon material. Along with the DM list, there could be a list of media websites, tools that are there to take advantage of, and delegate responsibilities to the DMs to keep the world updated. Examples in Wikipedia, on YouTube, Facebook, Incarnate, Google Drive, blogging sites, etc." So something like this, if it's going to be done well, is obviously a job for more than one person to kind of be in charge of and lead on that sort of stuff. So it's obviously not something I can do by myself. I would super love anybody who's willing to help organize some of the other components that we would need. But I have already posted one poll, and the poll question was this. What genre/setting should the OSG fall under? Currently, the most popular answer is standard fantasy, but I also threw out there steampunk, which is the next most popular answer. Horror fantasy after that. Swords and sandals, that would maybe be like, Greek adventure sort of thing. Space adventure, modern technology, future fantasy, and the option to add any other options. So, like I said, standard fantasy is kind of the most popular option right now, but I feel like, having a good base of this sort of information is how we can kind of start pulling all in the same direction and make sure that once we answer some of those big questions, that we can kind of nail down some of the smaller stuff. Like, I know people are excited to build a city or to have an organization in there or to create a monster or big bad guys and that sort of stuff. I kind of think that's a little bit further on down the road once we get some big questions answered. Because once we answer these bigger questions, then it'll be a little bit easier to create those smaller, really cool things. Then I wanted to just kind of reiterate the rules that I put forward initially. And I think this would just be helpful since it's going to be a crowdsourced and open sourced material set in the way that I view it. First rule: no pre-published materials. Anything you submit must be original creation. Shouldn't be too hard to do that sort of thing. Like I said, everyone I've seen in this group is very creative, but we just don't want to rehash someone else's material or ever run up into a situation where, we're using a trademarked material, that sort of thing. 2, you agree that all submitted material will be made open source and therefore could be used by others privately or for profit. This is just kind of a safety for anybody who's participating in it. Everybody who kind of agrees to collaborate on this would agree that other people could use it or print materials from it. But that's kind of the reason why we're making it open source and crowdsourced, and giving a lot of people a few small responsibilities, versus using one person's creative IP to create a whole thing. Those would be two way different things. Third rule: collaborative creative projects may lead to differences of opinion. Respecting each other is imperative. So some of those things we'll sort of have to hash out as people get into, but this would happen and that would happen, and we may have some differences between, I do want these two races in here, but we don't want those races over there, that sort of thing. So we'll kind of try to respect everybody's wishes on those fronts and make sure that I'll try to make sure, as someone who's kind of heading this up a little bit, that we get equitable placement of everybody's priorities within there. 4, and this one's actually very, very important. I think it should be almost the number one, aside from number 5. Please limit discussions to the topic at hand. Each new topic should be localized as to not reinvent the wheel/world at every iteration. Yeah, it's really important to make one decision at a time and then kind of let those decisions filter where we move on to. Because I know, and like I said, as a hugely inventive group of people, we could already get down the rabbit hole of any single one direction. But I think it's important to solidify, some of the first few things and then kind of move on down the path as we go. And that's kind of why I put the first poll out there, is what genre/setting should the OSG fall under. Because there's obviously going to be different priorities and things that happen in a standard fantasy setting than things that might happen in a future fantasy setting. So, one of the follow-up questions is going to be, what role do deities and religion play in this particular world? What role does magic play in this world? Is it high magic, low magic? That sort of thing. So once we make decisions on those fronts, then we'll be able to make applicable decisions on some of the smaller things that we get to, as far as, who are some good guys, who are some bad guys, that sort of stuff. Yeah, so reminder of the rule: please limit discussions to the topic at hand, so that we can decide on it and move forward to the next thing. Number 5 is have fun. Because obviously this is, just something that we're all kind of contributing to as sort of a for funsies side thing. It would be really great if eventually a lot of stuff was running there, and it's something that, we could kind of call our own and be proud of as a community. So yeah, with that, I will sign off, and then I look forward to working with you guys and kind of helping coordinate this effort, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.